Today, we're diving into Advaita Vedanta. It's a really ancient Indian philosophy with a pretty radical answer to one of the biggest questions we can ask. Who are you? People have called it the science of consciousness, and trust me, its core idea might just change the way you look at, well, everything.
So let's just start right there with that question. Who are you really? And I don't mean your name, or your job, or all the stories you tell about yourself. I mean, if you could strip all of that away, what's left? What is that fundamental, unchanging core of yourself? That question, that's exactly what Advaita Vedanta is all about.
And the answer it gives? Well, it's profound, and honestly, it's a little cryptic at first. The answer, in a nutshell, is not two. And that simple phrase challenges our most basic, fundamental ideas about what reality is and what our place in it is.
The name itself is really the key. Advaita comes from Sanskrit, and it literally means not two. It's this insistence that there's no real separation, no duality anywhere. And Vedanta means the end of the Vedas. Now, you can take that literally, as in the final chapters of these ancient texts, or you could think of it more poetically as the ultimate knowledge, the knowledge that ends your search for answers.
Okay, so to really get this whole not two thing, there are two big ideas you gotta know. First up is Atman. Think of Atman as your true self, with a capital S. It's that pure, silent awareness inside you that's watching your thoughts, feeling your emotions, but isn't actually defined by any of them. Then there's Brahman, and Brahman is the big one. It's the ultimate, formless, unchanging reality that is the very source, the very fabric of the entire universe.
So here it is. This is the big one. The really radical, kind of mind-bending claim of Advaita Vedanta is that these two things, they're not just connected, they are the exact same thing. Atman is Brahman. Your deepest, most essential self is identical to the one ultimate reality of the universe. It means you're not just a tiny part of the universe, you are the universe, experiencing itself from your point of view.
And you know, this absolute, no-compromise stance is what makes Advaita so unique. Other philosophies might say, okay, the individual soul is distinct from God, but depends on God. Advaita says, nope. For Advaita, the ultimate reality isn't a person, it's pure consciousness. Your individual self is identical to it. And the world that seems so solid, it's fundamentally an appearance, an illusion.
Right. So this brings up a huge, very obvious question, doesn't it? If we are all one, if we're all this ultimate consciousness, then why does it feel so convincingly like we're separate little people walking around in a big, solid world? Well, that brings us to the great illusion.
Let's just be real for a second. If our true nature is infinite and one with everything, why is my everyday experience all about limits, problems, and feeling separate from everyone else? Why do I feel like me over here and you feel like you over there? The answer Advaita gives comes down to one word: Maya. So Maya is this cosmic power of illusion. But, and this is important, it's not saying the world is fake, like a dream. It's more like we're misinterpreting what's real. Maya is like a veil of cosmic ignorance that covers up the one, unified reality of Brahma and makes it appear to be a universe full of separate people and things. It makes the one look like the many. You know, there's a fantastic modern analogy for this. Imagine you're the programmer of the most realistic, fully immersive VR game ever created. You are the game's source code. That's Brahman. Then, you decide to jump into your own game, not as some all-powerful being, but as a regular character with a name, a story, and limitations. That's the individual self. And the game is so good, so totally immersive, that you completely forget you're the one who programmed it all. You start to believe you are the character, totally bound by the rules of the game. That feeling of being lost in the game, that total self-forgetting, that's Maya. Okay, so if we're all kind of stuck in this cosmic VR game, lost in the illusion, how do we get out? Or maybe a better question is, how do we wake up inside the game? Well, this is where Advaita Vedanta offers a very clear path forward. The goal here is called moksha, or liberation, and this is absolutely key. Moksha isn't something you have to work for or achieve. It's not a prize you win. Since your true nature is already free, already one with Brahman, liberation is simply the realization of that fact. It's like waking up. You're just removing the ignorance, that veil of Maya, that's hiding what you've been all along. And how do you remove that ignorance? The path is called jnana, which means knowledge. But we're not talking about just reading books or memorizing facts. This is a deep, direct,
unshakable recognition of your true identity. It's that profound aha moment where you stop identifying with the limited character in the game and you realize, oh my gosh, I'm the programmer. I'm the consciousness that this whole game is appearing in. So, what does a person like this actually look like? They're called a Jivan Mukta, someone who's liberated while still living. Because they see their own self in every single person and every person in themselves, they're not easily shaken. You can't really disrespect them. They respond to anger with kindness, and they become deeply committed to the well-being of everyone and everything. For them, the external stuff, like rituals, doesn't matter much anymore. All that matters is that liberating knowledge.
Now, this incredible insight didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It's been carefully preserved and passed down through a very long line of sages and teachers who basically dedicated their entire lives to understanding it and sharing it with others.
You can trace this flow of knowledge way back. It starts with the ancient texts called the Upanishads. Then, in the 7th century, a sage named Gaudapada started to really formalize these ideas. But the real heavy hitter, the one who put it all together, was Adi Shankaracharya in the 8th century. He traveled all over India debating and teaching, and he set up centers to make sure this knowledge would survive. His work was so huge that the tradition is still going strong today through modern sages like Ramana Maharshi and big organizations like the Chinmaya Mission.
So, where does all this leave us? What does it actually mean to live your life with this answer? This idea that you're not the limited person you thought you were, but you're actually the limitless reality itself.
You know, Adi Shankaracharya summed up the entire philosophy in one single powerful sentence. He said, Brahman is the ultimate reality, the world is an illusion, and the individual soul is none other than Brahman. That's it. That's the whole thing. It's a declaration that everything is one, and our feeling of being separate is the one big mistake we need to correct through knowledge.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. Advaita Vedanta isn't saying you're just a tiny drop in a huge cosmic ocean. It's saying you are the entire ocean in the form of a single drop. And if you really truly started to see things from that perspective, what changes?